But you know what? Then that's an opening for a conversation, but Christians can't have any conversation. There's no nuance. Nope, it's wrong.
Yeah, it blocks their indoctrination.
You're being indoctrinated. I'm going to indoctrinate you this way. I don't want them to indoctrinate you. I'll do it.
You're destroying my indoctrination with your indoctrination.
Exactly.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Can.
And this is the Dan and Can podcast. Coming back at you, folks. Welcome back, or welcome for the first time. So, we just got done doing our AI extensive Talking Out Dan's Ass series. It's one of the collection of the Dan's Ass collection.
A lot of ass talking.
Yes, I think some podcasts I should just turn around and do the Dobson method. Face down, ass up into the camera.
Please don't. We have the visual now, so thank you.
Yeah, not a problem.
You're welcome, everyone.
So you know that's what's going. But again, like we always used to say, don't listen to us. All we're here to do is stir up conversation, get you asking questions. Look, research, do some stuff. Go out and find the information yourself and see what's true, what's fake, what's real. And that's kind of what last 3 episodes were about was here's some information, look into it, see if it's true or not.
Maybe there's, and I think another thing we're trying to do along with just sharing like, hey, maybe this is a way of looking at this, offering different perspectives is also like hopefully hope, right?
Yeah.
That there might be, it might not all be doom and gloom, considering many of us who came out of evangelical Christianity, and if you're one of them, you know what I'm talking about. Like we spent our whole lives just waiting for doom and gloom to arrive because that meant Jesus was coming back, right?
Yeah.
And now we're living in a political environment that's very constantly, I mean, if I was still a Christian, I probably would be like, oh, it's got to be coming any time now, right? You'd stay in that heightened state, and that is exhausting on the nervous system.
Running around downtown with your Ram's horn.
No, I wouldn't do that, but I've never really been into that. But I would be nervous all the time.
Yeah.
I'd probably be looking at the sky like, come on, dude. Like, this is getting bad.
Well, it's like that one comedian I showed the other day said, Jesus probably come back many times already. We just threw him in the psych ward and gave him Thorazine.
I guess that's what we do to people who say they're Jesus.
So we're going to switch gears just a little bit now for, I don't know if this will last a couple episodes or not. Maybe, just maybe. But we're going to get into something more about, I think, where we currently are in our beliefs and where I think if we want to actually make real positive changes in our world and our environment, I think the generalization of what we think needs to start happening.
Okay.
All right.
I'm curious as to where this is going.
Philosophical and theosophical and all sorts of things. So
right.
We're going to talk about some things. And some of this was sparked by that podcast you sent me with Mayim Balik Blossom and what was his name? Charles.
I don't know what his name is. Is that her husband? I feel like it is.
It's not her husband. Her husband's there, I think, the co-host, maybe.
Oh, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about, we called him Charles, but that's not his name. His name is, it starts with a C. It's not Chad.
Chad.
It's a name that's, I have a bug bite on the back of my leg.
Let me see. It should be in here.
I don't know why I can't remember his name. It starts with a C. Chase. Hudson? No. Great airtime.
I'm looking for it right here.
I know, but I'm saying I should be filling it.
Chase Hughes.
Yes.
He had an interesting thought in there, and it's kind of going to be the overarching topic of du jour of what we're going to go over here. But he was talking about how he's talking about, and we'll break this down and get into it a little more and more, but just an overview, the overture of our symphony of the show that we're going to do. was that we all can agree we come from one source. Humanity came from one source. We all evolved from
Well, what do you mean by we all agree to that?
Humans. Well, one way or another, we all should agree with that. Either if you're Christian or not. If you're Christian, you believe in creationism and Adam and Eve.
And God. It started with God, right?
And but every human came from Adam, and then Adam and Eve.
Well, I would say even going farther, even back to God. Everybody came out of that source.
Yeah.
Right?
So
in their opinion, that's where it should be if they're going to go fully biblical.
And then in evolution, if you go back to it, there had to be some evolution of
something was
primate
first
into.
Oh, okay, so you're just starting with humans.
Yeah,
it's all you're focused on.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, they would say Adam and Eve.
So we have
evolution
a common ancestor
says there's a common ancestor all the way back.
Came from, and we all went through there, and we're all tied in together from that common ancestor. Mm-hmm. And what's happened over time is that we've started dividing.
By attributes or whatever.
Attributes, ideas, beliefs, religions,
location,
whatever it may be.
Religion, all the things.
And in that division, we started breaking away from that oneness. And there's some rationale to that goes to our lizard brains and everything else of survival, which we'll get into a little bit eventually. But in that division, we started breaking away from this oneness. And in breaking away from that oneness, we started degrading our society.
We started suffering.
Yeah. Because now we're not connected anymore. And I think...
And we always think we have an enemy.
Yeah. To give you the end of the story here so you can turn this off and understand what we're going through. We need to find a way to come back to this unification and this oneness, to understand that whatever I do to you is affecting me also. Mm-hmm. Because you're part of the same source, the same ethos, or I can't think of the right word.
And if you think about for every action that you do, there's a reaction, right? So there's a connection, and that reaction that affects you to have another reaction. It has this ripple effect.
And that's basically a direct thing, but there's also even a greater thing behind, not greater, bigger thing behind it of just the total effect on what it has to humanity. Mm-hmm. If I'm angry with our president and I wish harm upon him, I'm causing a ripple effect inside of humanity with that energy that I'm putting out that affects everything. So I have to find ways to find unification and acceptance of what's going on.
So you can find anger in what the president is doing. That's absolutely okay. But to think that you are separate from him in some way, his actions are affecting you, not just because he's in a position of power, though he is having great effect because of the position that he's in. But because we collectively had all these thoughts, we got him into that position, even though I didn't vote for him, you didn't vote for him, we didn't vote for him. But collectively, we got him up into that place of power, and now he's affecting things, but he's not separate from us. We did this. How do we undo or change direction because we are working as one. We are
to
going
a lesser
through these
extreme,
things.
People that support him, how we act and interact with them that still support him is going to affect us directly, and how we move forward. Do we come together and try to find unity and work together in something, or do we keep divided and separating, which will end up being to our detriment in the long run? Yeah. Because then it's going to end up in what we have now. So that's kind of the overview of everything we're going to go over. Mm-hmm. So
the burden is on us to back up what we're saying.
Yeah.
That it does affect it. So like how I feel or how I treat others affects everybody else.
That's what I've brought to the table. So go ahead and go with it.
Okay. Let's have some videos to help us.
Well, I figured we start with, because I think the biggest thing is let's start with fear. Okay. Okay. And we'll start with the division. Okay. Because I think it can be pretty much universally agreed, no matter what your belief systems, whatever it is, we all have common ancestry as humans.
I don't know anybody who wouldn't, if they thought about it, agree with that, because you can do it from the science end. Yeah. You can also do it from, I think, pretty much all the religions, as far as I know. There wasn't unless you think different aliens came in and had different, but I don't know. That's weird and far-fetched. But I would say the main religions would agree with that.
For the most part, most people can agree.
Yeah.
Whether you believe in science or in religion or whatever, there's a common ancestor that we all came from.
Okay, so I think that's fair to assume at this point. Unless somebody pushes back on that, that's what I would agree.
And if we all believe in that, then a safe assumption to jump to would be that there is a connectivity to all of us because we all have a similar DNA profile. I mean, obviously, if you look at our DNAs, yes, there are differences, between me and you and me and whoever across the globe. But most of our DNA is identical.
We're more alike than we are different.
Yeah. I can't remember what the percentage is, but
it's in the 90s for sure.
It's like 98, 99% is all exactly the same. It's just a little bit of difference that makes the uniqueness about itself. So if we're that similar, then we have this commonality between us, and we can see that there's a link between us. And when you're dealing with systems, and just what's the word? I'm having trouble in my old age and fatigue thinking of all the words, but symbiotic relationships that we have. So when things happen, it affects our terrarium that we're in, because if we're all part of one thing, then if we look at it as a body, if my finger hurts, it's going to affect how I operate the rest of the day. I'm not going to, every time I bump something, I'm going to feel it. It's going to affect my arm, my shoulder, my head.
If your fingers hurt, or let's say it's broken, if you bump it, it's going to affect everything. And it doesn't just stay in the finger. It kind of radiates through the body, but also everything else compensates so that finger doesn't have to work so hard, It's
like the other day, your foot was hurting. So when we're on a walk and I'm like, don't change your stride, because you overcompensate, you're going to affect your hip, your knee, your ankle, something else, because on the other leg, because you're overcompensating for the injury over here. I said,
and then I did exactly what you told me not to.
Yeah. And then
I don't know how you don't.
And the only reason I know that is because I've done it so many times where, you overcompensate, and then the opposite side that you use to overcompensate with gets hurt because it's out of alignment. That's kind of what happens when we start affecting individuals. It's going to affect us also, no matter how righteous or just or correct we think we are.
And here's like a little example of it, maybe two examples of how to back up what you're saying. If you're in a really bad mood, let's say you just wake up, you had bad thoughts before not bad thoughts, but you had like thoughts, a lot of negative thoughts before you went to sleep, and you wake up and that train will just pick right up and you'll go on that thought train, right? And you're just in a bad mood, nothing's going your way. You bump your foot, your toe, you're late for work, whatever. Your kids aren't ready on time. You can't find their shoes, can't find your keys, get stuck in traffic. All these things start happening. You start noticing them. And it causes you to like get in this basically your energy is you are vibrating at a certain energy. And then you get to work and someone comes up and just cracks a joke. Maybe they were maybe in a playful mood. They bump into you and they crack a light joke and you're just like, they did it on purpose. Your perspective is different. Now go backward and say you woke up and you were in a pleasant mood. You bump your toe. It's like, oh, dang it. Like, I probably should move that. Your kids can't find your sock, but maybe you are in a more grounded space. So you help them find it. Or maybe, you don't let it get to you. You stay a little calm. You keep your breath in check. Waiting in traffic, nothing you can do. You're just like, I'm stuck in traffic. Maybe you have to text your boss or whatever. So you're like, I'm going to be a little bit late, but it is what it is, then you bump in and you have an inner good conversation. You know what I'm saying? That hits when you go up to that other person. First of all, you being in a bad mood will affect them. If you say something rude to them or you act a certain way, they will walk away and feel either a slight rejection, some sort of separation from you. But if you have a positive you feel connected. That's why we feel connected when we have these good experiences and we feel disconnected when we don't. It's all, that is what we're talking about, is that it is affecting other people, right?
Yeah.
And that's on a very tiny scale.
Yeah, no matter how much we want to make everyone different from us and separate, and that's the division part, we're still united and connected because of our commonality and of our makeup. We're part of something greater.
So, not only DNA are you connected, but I guess I'm coming from even like the energy is
Energies were
connected.
connected.
Your energy will affect the energy around you. Your DNA is similar to the DNA. They've even done little tests where they've taken, I don't know what it was. They put them in a container. Maybe it was bells or something. It was something that was at a certain, moving at a certain frequency or whatever. And they were all different. And eventually they just made their own, a new one where they all were at the same. And that we're no different than that. That's a tiny scale of what we do on a bigger scale. And then even bigger than us on the collective scale, it's happening. So anyways.
So we'll get into all that in a lot more detail as we move through this. I think this is going to take a little while to go through, but I think it's a way of looking at hope and some actual tangible things that we can do ourselves on our small scale. We can't change how the government operates by ourselves, but we can change how we operate within our own lives, which will change and affect everyone around us, which then hopefully will ripple out and start maybe bringing some unification back. I think that's kind of a key to reclaim this world and what we probably will end up going through, because I think a lot more people are opening their eyes to this. But let's start with some things that end up causing this division. And one of the biggest ones, I think, is fear. So we'll do a couple little things and examples of fear here. Start with our
This billionaire pop star in heels is crowned the voice of a generation. What do you get when a billionaire pop star releases an album with provocative artwork, lyrics that mock God, glorify rebellion, and celebrate explicit sin?
What do you get?
I don't know. I'm just caught up on, first of all, where did they mock God, his God. I doubt she mocked all the gods, and I don't know how she mocked God, whatever. Glorified like explicit sin. Like, I'm curious as to what he's talking about, because I don't know. I don't follow Taylor too much.
It's probably some of her more romantic songs type stuff where it's physical.
It's just something that he disagrees with, would be glorifying sin, and it's his God, because she probably said something was okay that he thinks is not okay.
His sin and everything.
So it's all about him, really, but whatever. Okay, so what do you get? I don't know, the devil? I have no idea.
You get the most powerful sermon that America's youth will hear this year. She mocks God in her lyrics. She normalizes sin.
An example.
She glorifies lust and rebellion as if this was womanly empowerment. Her songs are not just music. This is discipleship. She doesn't have any.
So because you have
because he's jealous because she has way more influence.
She has the army of Swifties behind her.
Okay, why doesn't he attribute that to God? Because apparently his God is allowing it.
Yeah, it's one of them things where people know don't go after Taylor Swift because the Swifties will come at. If you make a post and you're a moderate influencer and you say something about Taylor Swift, you're going to get inundated by the Swifties and they're going to come for you.
Okay.
So, yeah, and I think a lot of this is out of jealousy.
It is. I think
because
very
she
jealous.
has billions of millions, whatever, of people following her, and their God doesn't.
And no, wait. If his God is in full control, maybe he's okay with, you know what I'm saying? If you're going to hold the belief that your God is sovereign and he has all the power, why is he allowing Taylor Swift, Kirk Cameron, why is he allowing her to get all this great following and stuff? He's acting like his job is to take down what God has said is fine because it's happening.
Well, their God demands that his followers.
But where are they getting this stuff?
This is their interpretation. I
know it's their interpretation.
This is the interpretation of their actions. Their God demands that his followers
do his battle, fight his battles, his rules
upon the earth
that they made up.
Yeah. So he's just upset that someone else out there has a bigger microphone.
He is. That's really what he's upset about. If it was him, he'd be like, God is doing great things through me because I'm,
And especially because it's a young woman that's successful.
Oh, yeah. It's a woman. First of all, that's a problem for him.
A young, successful businesswoman that just is moving out and doing things and influencing the youth. better than he is
Mm-hmm.
because she has a better and more catchy message than he does. His message sucks dick.
Kids of her own, but raising kids is hard.
Okay. She just got married, and this is
Oh, did they get married? I didn't know
this
that.
last weekend, I think.
Oh, wow.
So
Congratulations.
she's actually following some of the rules there. Not got, I don't know if they had relations or not. I don't want to speak illy of Taylor
That's
and
none
her
of your business.
love life, but it's none of my business what goes on with her and Travis. But now she's married. Maybe she'll have some kids. I mean, are you upset because she waited until she was her age now to do it, or what? I don't know, but
I don't know where he's going with this. He's saying so she doesn't have any kids of her own, but he's mad that she's affecting and influencing the children. Yeah. That happens all the time. Sports figures who are
hold on one second.
doing
I got a
all
question.
Sorts of terrible things.
If you're going to use
children.
that logic, then Jesus should never talk anything about parenting.
If that's what he's saying. But yeah, Jesus has a whole lot of influence over because people teach it to their children,
but
right?
He never had kids.
No, he didn't.
Well, he might have, but these
Not
guys don't want to believe
there's no
it.
way they believe that. Yeah, who knows what happened. But yeah, exactly. And a lot of, I think, the disciples and stuff didn't have kids, like Paul.
Yeah. So
I don't know if a lot of, but I don't think Paul had children.
I mean, if we're going to use that as a measuring stick, all right.
I get into all that when she can just disciple your kids and train them up in the way that she would like for them to go.
Oh, but that's what you're doing. You're trying to influence children through all the things that you push out there. You're trying to influence parents, at least, to influence their children in the way that you think they should go. But he'll say it's God's way because that's how he interprets the scripture. This stuff gets so irritating to me.
It's the whole thing of when Christians start crying indoctrination.
When they're totally
indoctrinating all our people. And it's like, well, you're indoctrinating people also.
Oh, my God.
Okay. And I've yet to come across any, teachers in schools indoctrinating kids and saying, here's a sidestep here. I was listening to Time Suck today. It's a podcast by Dan Cummins. Covers a broad range of things. And he's going through some of his comments from past episodes. People will read in. And 2 episodes ago, he did the Stonewall riots in New York, which was back in the 70s, I think. It was when the LGBTQ community started trying to make a presence known in New York, going against a lot of laws that were anti-LGBTQ at the time. And they were trying to say, hey, no, let's break some of these down.
They were like demanding kind of equal rights. It was an equal rights.
It wasn't even that. It was just being able to, because there was like anti-homosexual laws. And I mean, you could be arrested if you got caught.
Really?
Doing stuff like, I mean,
I knew it was like against the law.
Pretty draconian on what was going on. So they were trying to just be like, can we just live our lives and not have to worry about getting arrested and doing all this stuff?
Yeah, these are consenting adults. Yeah.
And so then this ended up becoming when the police started getting involved and trying to shut down different bars and hangouts and stuff like this, then riots started. And there's someone that wrote it today, and they said, I'm open to anything. It's just I don't understand why. And it was a lot of the anti-LGBTQ stuff. And it was things like, I don't understand. It was a woman writing this. She goes, I was a tomboy, and when I was growing up, and if we were trying to do what they're trying to allow today, then people had told me I need to be a boy. So I don't understand this trans thing.
No one's okay.
So her whole argument was that people are saying, "Oh, you're acting like a boy, and that means you're a boy." No, which has nothing to do with it.
That's not how that works at all.
Dan came back with that and said, no. He goes, and he's a comedian, he gets kind of blunt. He's like, it doesn't affect on what private parts you want to put in your mouth, how you act here, right? He goes, you probably were never attracted to other girls. but we're just a tomboy, and
Well,
that's who you are. And no one was going to convince you, because she was trying to say that, well, now they would have tried to convince me that I was a trans
I've seen that
individual.
that post. I've seen somebody post something like that on social media. And the thing is, first of all, with a transgender person, I think most times they have that body dysphoria. Like they feel like something's there. I'm not in the right body, right? So first of all, I don't understand how that feels.
Yeah.
So it's not my place to say, nope, that doesn't, you know what I'm saying? But also she's making it sound like people are going around telling them, oh, because you act this way, then you must be a boy.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, like, do you think you're a boy? Do you feel like you are?
And it was a whole,
like, that's different than.
And a lot of this fear, like we talked with AI, is out of misinformation. And all of us grew up in pockets. And as we get older, we're supposed to expand our horizons and look out in the world and get new information in, which will dissuade some of the stuff. I used to believe as a kid that thunder was God bowling in heaven, knocking down the bowling pins.
Or angels were crying.
But I got older and I learned a little bit of science and I realized, oh no, that's just weather and lightning and all this, right? That's how we're supposed to go through life. We have simple explanations that then, oh, okay, actual logic and reason and science and discovery.
Yeah, which makes life enjoyable.
Gets away a lot of the little things we believe as little kids, right? Some people still hold on to that. And that's what's happening here is that they stay in these clusters and
like
don't.
The rainbow being a sign in the heavens.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Right.
And I think in faith, they tend to hold on to them even more. Because if you think about it, Christianity is believing a lot of shit that was believed 2,000 years ago that has been proven, but we're going to hold on that a rainbow is a God's sign. And okay, so science explains what a rainbow is, but that's because God put it up there. And now we're going to say that there wasn't rain before the flood. Now there was rain, and that was God created that. Which, prismatic light.
And you better believe this, or if you don't believe this, then you're really not a Christian. And if you're not a Christian, you're going to hell. So better believe that the rainbow is God's promise that he's not going to.
And she had a bunch of other things that she was talking about that. And Dan kind of went through and was like, yes, no, here's some things to think about, and tried to really, because it was, my experience, and this is, and I didn't want to, date a girl or anything like that ever in my life. I was always attracted to boys. That's perfect. That's what you are. But you don't understand the body dysmorphia that's happening with these individuals.
Just because you don't experience it doesn't mean that you understand it at all. Like, if you haven't experienced it, you don't understand what it feels like.
And her thing was like, then when these people are dressing up as, tomboys or being little boys are a little more effeminate, then all of a sudden we're firing them full of hormone blockers.
That's not what's happening.
It's like, this isn't what's happening. It's these people are going through and getting examined, and they're going through studies.
Yeah, it takes like a lot
Maybe
of therapy.
In their teenage years, they start.
We've known children that have gone through, like, they're curious whether they are transgender or not, and they've gone through this process, and then some of them were like, "No, I'm not." They were allowed to. I mean, their parents didn't know they were going through it, but they went through that curiosity and wondering if they were, and they needed to go through that, or they would always wonder, maybe, I don't know. But then you have we know other kids that did, and they were like, yes, I absolutely am. And it's like,
and there's so
first
much,
of all, if you don't have skin in the game, just shut your mouth about it. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to legislate it. It's just crazy that we're trying to legislate something that we don't know anything about.
And it goes to... the people that are legislating this don't understand this. So we're not letting the experts
who actually deal with these children and actually are talking with them and spending time with them and know how the body works and all of that stuff. And the kids or the adults or whoever are experiencing it. Yeah. Those are the people that need to be involved with what's going on so that they can make wise decisions for themselves. Just like my health things. I mean, I would want to have a say in that, but I don't want somebody else legislating who's never dealt with. It's like a bunch of guys making decisions about what childbirth should look like, or how it should work and stuff they've never experienced, won't ever experience. They don't know what it's like. They don't have a clue what it feels like, and they're saying this is the way it should go.
Oh, and then another one she had on there was, I'm tired of being called a cis woman. Why do I have to be defined as this why can't I just be a woman?
You are a woman.
Yeah, it was just upset about that. It was like, this
you
has
don't
nothing
have
to
to
do
go
with it.
around.
This
People
was
just use that to differentiate when they're talking about it. You don't always have to go around saying I'm a cis woman, but there are some cases where that creates a little more clarity. It's a word. That's all it is. Cis is just a word that you can use when you need to.
An adjective.
Yeah, that's all it is. My God, people, it drive me nuts. We make bigger problems out of.
Yeah. So, anyways, where was I going? Oh, the riots in New York. So they had all that, and yeah, so she had this comment about all that stuff, and he kind of clarified it on there, but it was just misinformation that she didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And it steered her worldview because she didn't actually go out and try to understand or walk a mile in someone else's shoes.
Or talk to somebody who had
which is something we'll get into later, of just the experience of everyone in the world and what's that like and what's that actually tying into as a whole. So you're stealing away from something greater than you when you're trying to disallow someone to experience the world they need to be.
And another thing that it can do, this is where social media, this is the potential that social media has, is to allow us to see the eyes through another person's world, see the world through another person's eyes. And actually hear their experiences from someone in another country, or someone who is, maybe a cisgendered person hearing from someone who is, gay, or hearing, there's just, actually that would be more trans, right?
Yeah.
The opposite of cis. But it's just like, as you hear these other voices, as you take away the separation, because this separation is what keeps us like in a bubble away from each other, scared of each other. As you lift that veil up and you actually look at one another and listen to one another, first of all, you see how similar we are to each other, how we all really want to love, we want to be loved, we want to be accepted, we want to have a happy life, we want to have our needs met. It takes away all that just by getting, and social media can provide that and has provided that in many ways. That's the good part of it, because social media is pretty toxic in a lot of ways. But in that aspect of connecting us, I think it has a real potential for good in those areas when you use it that way.
Yeah. So, Kirk, stay in your own lane. To define hypocrisy, just watch that video again.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about these people indoctrinating our children. I'm concerned about you trying to indoctrinate our children.
If I was just being honest with us, when we were Christian, we were indoctrinating our children.
Oh, yeah,
for
we
sure.
were, definitely.
And now it's more like, I don't know what you're supposed to do for a living. I don't know where you're supposed to go. I don't know what your journey looks like, but I know that I will support you as you discover it. And I will create an environment where you're safe to explore that and figure that out for yourself.
And even help
help you, guide you into like, as you decide, I want to go this, so I will help you. Okay, let's figure out how to get you going that direction. But not like, hey, this is what you do, A, B, and C, and it all turn out. We all know parents who have done that. We know cultures that do that. And the children a lot of times are very miserable because it's just like, I have to do this and I have to do this because that's what my parents say. That's what they've always done. And it's just always been done this way. And that's the way. And it's anybody who's lived that way in any culture or religion or just the traditions, at some point, some generation down the line will be like, I'm not doing it anymore. We're just doing it just to be doing it, So, anyways, Kirk Cameron, I think the church in general, Christianity that he preaches at least, is so, it's always like separation. It's always pointing out sin, look, sin there. Stay away from those guys. So he's basically just got another enemy.
Yep. All right, let's take a look at this one.
Don't have my headphones on, hang on.
That's right.
Sometimes we act like this is our home and we just settle down and put our feet up. This is a battlefield.
Wait,
and it's never been more clear.
Okay, where in the Bible does it say that this is a battlefield? Where are they getting this stuff? No, it's not.
It's everything. Every one of the 66 books has a battlefield analogy.
The earth is a battlefield. Not
love is a battlefield.
I would like to know where they get that idea, because it doesn't talk like that. But anyways, go ahead. I don't know where it talks like that.
Because Satan always near the end, when a battle gets very nasty, Satan always goes after children right before the end.
Where do you get that? I don't, he's just making up shit and saying it.
See a commonality between these two?
Just making up shit and saying it like it's authoritative, like children.
We're going for the children.
Well, yeah, they always want. Yeah. They pick on the thing that we all agree is the most vulnerable. Children are our most vulnerable, right?
But it's not just the most vulnerable; it's the most influential too.
Yes, it is, and they hold the most potential for change. They are the future, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, there's.
And they've done such a shitty job because all the children are leaving them in droves. But we'll continue.
Mutilate them, kill them, destroy them, confuse them. Listen, if I understand my theology right, Satan is not all that thrilled about them dying, because when they're children, they go to be with the Lord automatically.
So abortion should not be
they're not accountable for their sins. They're kids. They go to the Lord.
And they're actually disagreeing on this now, because Driscoll will say
they go to hell, doesn't he?
Well,
yeah, because he sees the clash probably with the idea of abortion too.
It's like that's a great, get out of jail free card here. You don't have to live this life straight to heaven.
I mean, that one lady, Yates or whatever, killed all her kids. Like, let's just put them in heaven because they're
I don't think Satan wants to do that. I think what Satan wants is to mess up a generation of kids that wind up going around and messing up others, including families. And the poor child is the one that's being attacked by Satan.
Okay, kids today for a second. Again, I would say these people will say that their God is in control, and yet their God is allowing all these things to happen.
Yeah.
Either their God is like powerless against there's a bigger power, right? Satan almost seems like is more powerful than God.
And I didn't save the video, but I saw one earlier where a guy was like, well, God could wipe out Satan with just a blink of his eye. Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, you're going to let him do all this shit. So what's happening down here? Why is he allowing Satan to take over a whole generation?
Like he's like acting like
why is he
pathetic.
allowing you guys to fail?
Like, you guys need to fight harder, vote more, get more people in power, legislate it, because I can't do it myself. I mean, it's just crazy. Their God's so weak and pathetic.
Yeah, their message is not their math's not mathing.
No. Showing up in homes and coming home from school making some announcement that was fed to them by a school teacher.
That God put in that position. And
okay, we've had our kids in high school.
Yeah.
All 5 of them. How many times do they come home and make an announcement that was fed to them by a school teacher? 5 kids. 4.5 of them.
Well, they don't go around. My teacher says. Now, when they're like little, maybe they would say that might be what he's referring to is a little kid coming home and saying maybe they read a book where there was 2 daddies or 2 mommies. And he was like, I mean, that might be what he was referring to, which he would disagree with. But you know what? Then that's an opening for a conversation, but Christians can't have any conversation. No. There's no nuance. Nope, it's wrong.
Yeah, it blocks their indoctrination.
You're being indoctrinated. I'm going to indoctrinate you this way. I don't want them to indoctrinate you. I'll do it.
You're destroying my indoctrination with your indoctrination.
Exactly.
Them on a course of destruction. And then the kid, listen, because it's against nature and it's against science.
Yeah, he's
so often the kid becomes disillusioned and takes their own lives.
Oh my God!
You know who should be responsible and be held in contempt?
Stop.
The school.
This irritates me.
Yeah.
Because they act like, yes, suicide rates are high. I think among transgender individuals specifically, but LGBTQ. It is not because the school told them that trans people exist. That was
a post I had a couple weeks ago that we reacted to. Remember that? And they were talking about the whole, and they brought that up, the high rate of
probably
self-harm that was happening.
I think we've talked about it. So
yeah, we responded to that comment on the video, and we're just trying to help them out and show them a clear path. It's like, motherfucker, you are the reason.
Yeah, if you want to hold somebody in contempt, it's the church preaching that they are evil, that they're on a path of destruction, that they are going to hell.
Yeah.
These are the things that are struggling inside them. They cannot get rid of how they are wired naturally. They can't get rid of that. So when you keep preaching that message at them and they keep trying, they are in this battle within themselves that can't be settled unless something gives. Either this isn't true, that's coming from the outside, or the inside isn't true.
Yeah.
Right? And so since they can't change the inside, they, instead of realizing that the outside might be lying to them, they take their life. So it is actually the indoctrination of these systems that are causing
and
these
where
rates.
they're getting messed up is that everyone's DNA, everyone's wiring, everyone's state of being is not a choice. But every religion is a choice.
Oh, yeah, it is. Absolutely is a choice. Even though people will think that it's
they're trying to make
not.
it the opposite way.
Yeah. They're trying to make you conform, the inner truest self of you, conform to a formula on the outside. That is just so backwards.
Yeah.
And that's what causes probably, now I'm talking out my ass, but I would say like 80%, 90% of the suffering is because of the religious systems pressure
I can say,
on people to be
make
different.
it more safe.
Maybe not just the religious systems,
but societal pressures upon them and judgment upon them. And it would be like someone, I can't control my whiteness, but if someone was like, you're too white, you're wrong, you're sinful for being white. It's like, well, what am I going to do about that? I can try to tan all I want, but I'm still going to be white.
Lighter skinned.
I can't do anything about it. And that's what's happening with the LGBT community. They can't do anything about it. This is who they are. This is
so they either have to they have their choices are they hide it,
but
they deny it, or they embrace it.
Yeah. But then if I'm keep being told this and that I'm sinful for this and I need to change my whiteness, that puts me in a dilemma because I'm listening to these people that I'm supposed to follow and obey and everything. That's what causes the self-harm, is because I'm trying to do whatever I can, but I can't change the color of my flesh. I can't change who I am, but I'm being told I have to.
You're being told that the color of your flesh, something's wrong with it, instead of just like, this is just how you are. And let's look at the character of the person. Are you kind? Are you loving to people? Like, instead, Christianity focuses on the behavior, but the behavior flows from belief systems. Yeah. Like the behavior of someone taking their life in this situation is likely due to a belief system that was programmed on them that there's something inherently wrong with them because of how they're wired.
That was another thing that woman on her comment said was about if we start allowing trans people to start using whatever bathrooms they want, then I don't feel safe with my daughter in the bathroom. Okay. And then Dan came out and said, okay, so we've had some research. He goes, I did some research on this and is actually Googling, looking, and there is very, very, very little instances of assault in bathrooms because it's so public, it's so bright, it's so out in the open.
There's a lot of times there's cameras outside the bathroom.
It's extremely dangerous to do something like that inside of a bathroom. And then he started giving examples of, he went to a hotel in Montana where it's a unisex bathroom. So he was in a stall next to a little girl in another stall next to him, and nothing happened. That's just the way it was. His kids' college was unisex bathrooms in the dorms and showers in the dorms. So there was boys and girls showering in the same room right next to each other. No incidents ever happened.
Okay. I have something, I know this is a tangent on that subject, but this bothers me because people try to say that it's unsafe to allow trans men to go into, or trans women to go into.
Well, they try to hide it and say it's not actually a trans man, but allows perverts to dress up as women.
That's what they're saying. But I want you to ask you something. A big grocery store or big shopping mall, right? In order for a cisgendered man or a man that's a perv that is they're like white, straight guys that are doing these perpetratings, right? They're like, they come in, they're going to have to walk through the place dressed as a woman. First of all, they might see they're not going to do that, dress completely head to toe as a woman so that they can go into the bathroom and then take off these garments or in some way touch this girl. I guess they don't necessarily take off anything, but touch this child, right? Which is absolutely crazy. Okay. If that happened, it would be super rare for it to happen, right?
It is.
But now they've set it up so where they're like transgender males and females have to go into the whatever sex you were given at birth, that's the bathroom you have to go into. So a trans man has to go into a woman's bathroom. You have now set it up so it's more likely for a man to just walk into a bathroom and say, I was born a woman, but I'm a man. And he walks in and he's not a transgender man. He's just a man that's a perv. Now you've set it up so now he can come into the bathroom and be like, I was born a man.
Yeah.
Or I was born a woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was assigned a woman at birth. And now I'm a transgender man. But I have to use this bathroom. Mm-hmm. And what's going to happen is you have set it up so that more likely that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And transgender people have nowhere to go to the bathroom now because they're going to be scared to go either way.
Yeah.
So that's just because a transgender woman is not going to walk into a men's bathroom. That is so unsafe for her.
Oh, yeah.
They've just set it up so that there's more crime possible by the actual people who are the perverts, which are not transgender people. That is so rare, if ever that happens. It is almost always straight white men. Not always white, but it might not always be straight, but it is men that are not transgender.
Yeah.
And so, like, that argument, they actually made it worse. They made it worse by doing that. Yeah. Instead of just letting people go in the bathroom that they identify with, we would have all been better off.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
But we don't think things through. That's a common thing. All right, let's continue on.
Wait.
Got to wait for Candy.
Sorry.
Very unprepared.
I don't like wearing these.
Oh, the teacher. The citizens must start holding a woke teacher responsible. They're manipulating your children. Are you going to let that happen? You can't.
All right. So there's our fear.
I think our kids had more Christian teachers in the public school than anything else.
We have so many woke teachers we have to hold accountable. Well, then we need to hold woke pastors, unwoke pastors accountable too for the harm and devastation they're causing to the LGBTQ community. It goes both ways. You're not impervious.
They don't blame themselves. They do not blame themselves for any of the. This is why there is no growth and change in these Christian communities. That there are some Christian communities where that is not true. But I'm talking about the evangelical stuff we grew up in. Yeah. There is no growth. They do not change their mind. If you change your mind, if you start going, maybe we were wrong here. Maybe we're actually causing the problem. You are kicked out.
Yeah.
Because they are right. They cannot be wrong because they have God's truth. And it really is their interpretation of these ancient books.
Yeah.
It's just, you're going fired up and irritated.
Let's do another one here from a senator. Because it's not just religion.
Do you want Columbia University to be cursed by God?
Christianity. Well,
of the Bible?
We'll start this over. You weren't listening.
Do you want Columbia University to be cursed by God? Of the Bible?
Okay, so this is political and religion tying together.
All right, what's he going to say? I'm already irritated.
This is Republican Rick Allen. Here we see him trying to use the fear of God during his questioning of Columbia University President Minouche Shafik about anti-Semitism on campus. Christian nationalism is on the rise in American politics, and on Wednesday, we saw him be a prime example of that.
Are you?
So this is an older video back when the Palestinian-Israeli war started, and the students were protesting
a lot, not going to classes.
And then there's a lot of anti-Semitism happening at the all these universities, especially in the Northeast, because people are like, look what you're causing.
Jewish people were being treated.
Yeah, you're causing
and that's not okay.
Genocide
either.
And all this. Yeah, it's not okay either. But
and it's not one or the other.
He could have made a logical argument here. Hey, you're not no better than them then once you start going after them and trying to oppress them and taunt them.
If you are treating Jewish people poorly because you are against the war that's happening in Gaza, then you're not doing anything. You're not actually helping. You're actually making the problem even worse.
Yeah.
So instead, it is not about Jewish people. We're talking about Israel, the state, is where the problem is between Palestine, I don't know if they're out of state too, considered, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's between these two countries.
Yep. So let's see what he has to say.
Familiar with Genesis 12:3?
Probably not as well as you are, Congressman.
Well, it's pretty clear. It was a covenant that God made with Abraham. That covenant was real clear. If you bless Israel, I will bless you. If you curse Israel, I will curse you. And then in the New Testament, it was confirmed that all nations would be blessed through you.
Look at him,
You do not know about that.
I have heard that now that you've explained it, yes.
Do you consider that a serious issue? I mean,
No.
do you want Columbia University to be cursed by God of the Bible?
Definitely not.
Okay. Well, that's good.
She's
Here's the
playing
deal.
to him.
We got
but she's trying
freedom of
to, like-
speech in this country and freedom of religion. Yet we also have Moses looking down on the entire body of Congress who gave us the law. Most of our laws were made and are supposed to be enforced, came from the original law. And what we have...
So Jesus did nothing, I
It
guess.
did not.
Well, yeah.
The
there's
Mosaic
no way.
Law came from the Hammurabi Code.
Yeah.
So we're redefining history. But anyways, we'll continue.
Today is a lawless land. We have lawless universities that are overrun by people who are threatening to kill other students, who are attacking other students. And
Where was
Wait a
this?
minute, is
Where
he
was this
talking
firing
about-
up when he was talking? When
Yeah.
things like Stonewall were happening? Did he
Yeah.
say those kind of? Did he think like
Stonewall
that?
was-
I know it was a long
yeah.
time ago, but there's things
Yeah.
like that happen. And
so
does he
when
speak
the
out against that?
The shootings in Miami
Yeah.
at the gay club.
He's like, well, they're killing people,
And
and
all this-
do you speak like that? Like that's
No.
wrong?
Yeah.
I doubt it.
No, he doesn't. But yeah, it's like, are you talking about the Christians and how they're harming other individuals that don't agree with them, or
Yeah.
what here? I'm confused.
Well, he's not because he's
Creating-
not standing up for people that are being
No.
killed and slaughtered in Gaza.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh
Yeah.
my God. Okay.
fear in this country, and we have a constitution that requires
creating fear in this country. Exactly what you are doing
I just can't
by
stand it.
professing this law and this. Are you not afraid of the curse of God to come upon you?
He's using that to kind of like it's a little extra, like they use God, this illusory kind of imaginary thing. Like he's going to bring a lot of terrible stuff. And then anything bad that happens, that was God punishing us because of this. And they connect it when there's no
So
connection.
Trump getting elected, is that God punishing us for this?
They would have said that's God's reward. I think we're being punished because of our bad decisions.
us to treat other folks as we would like to be treated.
Yeah. So why
Which
is it?
is also in the New Testament. Maybe you should have a course, and you don't have to believe it, but the Bible is an incredible book.
I am so
There's a lot of
tired
history
of
there.
wait, pause
You
it
don't
for-
have to
I'm so
believe
tired
it,
of them
but
saying
you need
that.
to know what's
You
in
don't
there.
have to believe
Maybe
it, but you have to live by it.
Yeah.
You have to enforce it.
Yeah.
No, we don't. No, we
Yeah.
don't.
It's an incredible book. You should look into it. Okay, let's start enforcing some of the laws. Okay, so I'm sure you probably got bacon on your breath right now. And we can't have that anymore.
No
is
more
that
bacon,
a
buddy.
pure cotton jacket there, or is there something else mixed in there? Let's get that off. And that shirt's probably got some polyester or something in there.
Yeah. Did
Those
you touch a
glasses,
bug? I mean, there's so many
There's
things.
a few
Did you
different things in
touch
glasses.
a dead
there.
bug?
Yeah.
There's so many things that would.
I'm just
That was
following
the
the book you
point.
told me to
Yeah.
follow.
you should have a course suggested for those who are having problems with all of this on the Bible.
Oh, my
and what's
God.
in the Bible and kind of what will happen if,
Are
under
you
the wrath of God.
insane? Are
So
you
our
insane?
solution is we have freedom of, he's already said in here, you
I
have
don't
freedom
think
of
I can
religion.
handle this guy, Dan. I'm serious. I'm going to lose my shit. He is terrible what he's trying to do.
So he said earlier, we have freedom of religion in this country, but you should probably start teaching the Bible to all these people so they know how to live. They can go ahead and believe in their Muslim Allah. They can believe in their pagan religions, but they need to follow the Bible and be taught it in school so they know how truly to live in this country. 'Cause
Or
we have
God's
freedom of
going to,
religion.
his wrath is going to,
Yeah.
the wrath of God.
No, and he can't have much more to say. Deep
I don't know
breaths.
if I can handle him. He's just getting on my nerves so much. Okay.
We have above the American flag in our chamber, in God we trust. I
Yes,
mean,
that
what
was
God
added
is
by
that?
men.
Do you understand why we're here? This is a serious issue. Young people are being indoctrinated by these professors
I'm
to
going to
believe this
scream.
stuff,
I'm
and
about
they
to
have no
cry.
idea that they're going to be cursed by God, the God of the Bible, and the God over our flag. Education is important, knowledge is important, but the beginning of wisdom is the fear of God. I yield back.
Oh my God.
Okay. How you feeling? Candy needs to step out for a minute,
To me,
do some breathing exercise.
I would say that the anger that I feel when people push that kind of stuff, like that's righteous anger to me.
Oh, yeah.
Like that irritates the hell out of me because people will hear it, they will agree with it, and then they will push that agenda to hurt. They are indoctrinating people.
Well,
and he was so smug and arrogant.
He's so smug.
And, and there's a Bible verse, if he wants to use that, there's a Bible verse on arrogance. And actually, it's one of the 7 deadliest sins, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is one of them. And gluttony, because
we can just go through history back to him and say, okay, let's see what's happened when people have followed the word of God and had a Christian-led kingdom. You had all sorts of horrible things happen. You had whatchamacallit in Spain, where they tortured everyone, the
Inquisition,
the Spanish Inquisition, because people weren't believing the right way of God.
They're the ones that cause the suffering on people. They will torture them or kill them or punish them, and that's what he's trying to do. He is trying to force you to believe a certain way, because he thinks the solution is more law. And that is the exact opposite of what the gospel was. The solution is not more law. It is you are set free from it.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
He doesn't understand his own book and what it's teaching. No. He's going into what the Pharisees actually believed.
Yeah, he's not doing what Jesus of Nazareth was actually talking about.
He's not doing an accurate representation of what following the Bible has meant throughout history. Following the Bible has led to a lot of death and warfare,
more suffering,
and
probably
oppression,
and it's just always people's interpretation of their
people's
God.
interpretation of the Bible and what was supposed to be done in these situations, the genocides that took place, all of everything that's happened that's been horrific. A lot of it can be traced back to Christians or any religion, really.
A lot of the monotheistic religions, the Abrahamic
religions. Causing all this damage.
Cause a lot of problems because they're so violent. Because they have this strong, tying it back to the beginning, they have this strong separatist ideology. Yep. I am separate from all of you. We are God's people. We're the ones. Yep. We're the chosen ones. You're not, because you're not one of us. Yep. That is where the problem, it all stems from that thought of you being separate.
Yep. And that's a great example of that. Just, we have to get into his because you guys were different than all of you. And if you would just agree with us,
everything would be great,
be fine. And everything would be hunky-dory and we'd all get good. But you got to believe in this. And it's like, well, there's no reason for everyone to believe in this because you haven't proven anything.
No, and
your example that you lead by is horrible. I don't want to be like you because you act like this.
And another thing is, like, I think that I have this belief that LGBTQ people are here to teach us how to love, because we have got to learn how to everybody is not the same. And what happens when a child comes out to you, you make a decision. If you're a Christian, you make a decision. Will I choose my belief? If I'm evangelical, which says, that person's going to go to hell, right? Or do I choose my child and I choose to love my child? I have a moment, an opportunity right there to walk in love. And many parents cause their own suffering because they choose to walk in law rather than love or the spirit, right? I choose my child, or I choose, it's the law and the spirit, which are the two that are weighed out in Romans, if you're going to go biblically, but it's just really like, do I choose love or do I choose law? Yeah. And he's saying, put more law on these people. Here's the law. Look at it. You're going to get punished if you don't do it this way. Or you can choose love. What is the loving thing? These people are crying out for people who don't have a voice, or people who are being slaughtered or suffering. They're crying out that this is not okay. How can we address it? There is something we need to address, especially if they're hurting Jewish people. Yeah. Like, we need to talk about that. Guys, these Jewish people are not the problem. Just because they are Jewish and there are Jewish people in Israel does not mean that these are connected to each other. Yeah. Israel, the state, is a completely different thing. There
is a legitimate argument that could have been had back then while this was going on, where he could have said, hey, you need to address this shit. And he could have used the verse that he did use correctly there. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. But he's only doing it in this one situation because it's going against someone that he wants to defend.
Yeah.
Because he's afraid of this curse that God put on everyone.
He's not really even.
Yeah.
He probably is getting money somehow,
yeah. And God,
kickbacks.
yeah, probably from AIPAC or whatever.
Yeah.
But God cursed the Jews enough back in 70 AD when he pretty much destroyed their land and said, "You're done. See ya."
I mean, that he was basically saying, and it wasn't it had nothing to do with them being Jew. It was just like this type of system, this law abiding, like you have to abide by all these rules. There's even a verse in Romans where Paul or whoever wrote it said, like, they gave even more laws so that you would feel like, I can't live this way. That's the point of the law. It's like, I can't live. It's so oppressive. I cannot live this way. So there's got to be some other way to live. And that was the whole point of the good news was you don't have to live this way. There's actually, you know how to treat people in your heart. You love yourself and then you'll love your neighbor as yourself. So it's like, it's a very simple thing. And yet they have made this whole complex theology, belief system that is so toxic and causes more trouble than anything. But because they want to feel separate from somebody else, they want to be separate because they want to be better.
Yeah. And that's the thing, the hypocrisy in here, when he's using the verse, love your neighbor as you love yourself, and he's applying it here, which can be justifiably applied there. Are you applying it to the nightclub that got shot up? That was a gay nightclub.
Yeah.
Are you applying it to the treatment of ICE on illegal immigrants and the separation of families? Mm-hmm. Are you, all these other aspects in there? Are you loving your neighbor?
Is he applying that across the board?
I don't hear you speaking this up, and challenging, the leaders that be on this. So what's going on here? You're not consistent. Is this only just because this is what you want it to be consistent in? Be consistent across the whole board, you jackass.
Well, and also just in the situation he's talking about, yes, he's talking about treating the Jewish people who live in America with kindness and respect, which you should. But also the country as a whole should be treating others. We should not be helping others abuse others in other countries. There should be other ways to deal with that if we're going to love our neighbor, because the other countries are our neighbors, love them as ourselves. Palestine is our neighbor. Israel is our neighbor. How do we love them? We don't just love one over another and help this one defeat the other, unless the other is, there was genuinely a battle going on. And I can see some of that. There's nuance. And this guy is just trying to use it in this little situation where it appeals to him. Yep. Because all of these Christians, all of these different sects of Christianity have made a different Christian God in their own image. Oh, yeah. He's not the same throughout all of them. No. He's different for each of them.
All right, one more video for tonight, and we're going to go completely political.
Oh, God. I don't know if I can handle it, but I'll try.
You'll be able to handle this one because this guy's the king of the clouds.
Oh.
America will never be a communist country. Won't happen. Communism is a loser, and it always will be. The communist system is the opposite of the American system, and the communist system has never worked. Our warriors did not fight communism on battlefields across the world, only to have that menace rear its ugly head right back here in America. We're not going to let it happen.
You're the crowd.
We like to stop a threat like that.
Both of them.
Immediately and before it begins. It's like a cancer. You got to cut it out. You got to cut it out fast.
Okay, I would agree. Communism, we don't want communism in America. We don't want fascism.
Yeah.
Either, which is the right-leaning side. And the left, if you go all the way to the right, you're going to end up in fascism. If you go all the way to the left, you're going to end up in communism. We need something in the middle.
But it's just another fear of this whole.
I don't know what the fear. Where is he saying? Did they just throw in the label communism around to scare people?
Mudami and
but they don't call themselves communists.
No, he's a socialist Democrat.
Yes,
but
it's not the same thing.
They automatically attach communism to socialism, and they're not the same thing. And what Mudami's doing is more of a mixed bag. Political theory, where it's a little bit of everything. And that's what's successful. The pure capitalism, as we're seeing right now, is not successful. Mm-mm. It's beneficial to a very small
It's why we have 1% making so much money and the 99% struggling.
Struggling every day. Communism isn't successful, as we've seen in Russia. when they tried to implement it, and some of these other smaller
Does that
countries.
end up in the same kind of way?
China
where
has gotten less and less away from the communism, more to a social democracy. I mean, they're still kind of politically communist, but their economy is more socialist democracy. So they're allowing a little bit more here and there to happen because it's effective.
And
It
obviously
works.
we don't.
But you look at the Nordic states, they're more of a mixed bag, which allows them to be the happiest countries in the world. They got everything provided for them.
They have
No
like
one
a
goes without need.
Yeah.
So-
You're not going to be like destroyed by medical bills.
Yeah.
You're not going
Yeah.
to, your basic stuff is going to be, which actually gives you room to be creative and do the things that, that actually does help you do more work and more along the line of how you're wired rather than just drudgery work to get by, which is what a lot of people do in America.
That's a good thought to hold on to for next week. Kind of went over one of the sides. This is the negative side of this whole series we're going to do right now.
Can we leave people with some hope?
Yeah, it's going to get better. But in order to get the good news, you got to get the bad news first.
Gosh, don't even say that line.
But
if you ever listen to the Bible Answer Man, that was
kind
so
of looking
stupid.
at how we got to where we are today. And I think if you look at these videos, it's all this fear mongering that's going on, which is causing division. You're seeing this, and like you said with the senator there, the separation, where we're going to separate ourselves from this. And a lot of this is based on this separation of people from other, I'm different than you because of my skin color. I'm different than you because of my gender. I'm different than you because of my sexual orientation or my nationality or any of these things. So now I'm separating from you and I'm pulling away. And when we start doing that, we start losing this connection. We start losing.
And there's two sides to it too. You have people that feel like they're better than others, and then you have people who feel like they're less than others. So you might sway back and forth. I mostly felt like I was less than others for the longest time. Then that's not any better. That isn't.
And I think there's a reason for that. And we'll get more into this next week, a little highlight. I think a lot of it is survival and our lizard brains that are doing on this. Because when you got in a group, you want to make your group seem strong.
You need to fit in.
And you wanted your strong group to control all the resources. So then you guys are provided for. And then these guys are out here and we don't have to worry about them. They're our enemies. We don't need them. We're going to make sure they don't have any of this stuff. And that's where separation starts coming in. Then you start hoarding stuff and you stop sharing. You start experiencing.
It would make us know, it makes us kind of like how that might be how primates might act out in the wild. And we have a consciousness that's different from them, right?
We should have learned by now
we should
how
have
to be able
the ability to be like sharing. We know what sharing does for us. When we share ideas and stuff, they grow and they spread, and it can make things wonderful or it can make things really terrible.
And capitalism is an extreme example of people saying, no, I need all the resources possible. And I can't give any of these away because I need them for myself. It's like you have more than you'll need in 5,000 lifetimes.
Well, and socialist democracy has a layer of capitalism, right? It's just not full-blown greed.
It's a free market society. It's just you're taxed.
This is late-stage capitalism that we're talking about when we say capitalism.
Unchecked capitalism.
Yeah, or the greed just runs it.
So some of these mixed bags are like, okay, before you start getting way too rich, we're not going to have trillionaires and billionaires here.
No, there's no reason to be that high.
You guys are going to be taxed heavily.
Yeah. I mean, you can keep trying to make that much if that's what you want, but you have to pay more. So then you contribute more to
that's fine. Perfect. Live your billionaire lifestyle, but you're going to be paying to help out a lot of other people around you.
Yeah, and it's not going to affect your life because you know what? If you have, billions of dollars and you have to be taxed and you pay $1 billion of that, you're still a billionaire. Yeah. That doesn't change your life at all. It really doesn't.
It's a very primitive way of thinking.
Yeah.
But we'll get more into that and I'll try to find more examples instead of just completely talking. It's my own theory and I need to back it up with something because I want to write a book about it and I probably should be able to get from point A to point B.
Stop.
So that'll come in next week or the week after, but we'll talk about that and bring it up a little bit over the next couple of weeks. So go to YouTube, hit like, subscribe, and follow. That'll help move us and get more people out to hear the positive message that's going to come down the road here on how we can take back control of this world and make it a good place for everyone to live, where everyone's provided for. And you can do that by subscribing, liking, and following on the YouTubes. And
on the YouTubes,
on the Spotifys and the Apples, give us 5 stars. That's a way you can share with us and help us reach our message out to everyone, to bring unity and everyone together in a kumbaya woo-woo fashion.
Okay, that's bad.
And then if you want to talk to us about it, down below in the description, danandcan.com, click there. You can reach out, get a hold of us, and drop whatever you want to us there. But other than that, go in love and peace and serve the Lord.
Remember, don't listen to us because we really don't know.
We don't know shit.
We don't know shit.
No,
really, we don't. We're back to it. This is the line.
We don't know shit.
We don't know shit, but we like to talk like we do. So
yeah,
there you go.
So bye.